Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another movie review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Now, this is the first anthology movie in the Star Wars series, I guess. This isn't an official episode of Star Wars, and Rogue One is about rebels before the events of the original trilogy, stealing the plans for the original Death Star, and allowing everything to happen pretty much. This movie stars Felicity Jones, Mads Mikkelsen, Diego Luna, Donnie Yen, a lot of other people as well. Now, I was super hyped for The Force Awakens, you don't even know, but this year, for some odd reason, the trailers just weren't doing it for me. I don't know why I wasn't getting excited, but I wasn't. I had nothing to gain from not being excited because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Now, in my opinion, this movie isn't terrible, but it's not a great movie by any means. The movie looks incredible, and I'm talking about camera setups and lighting and everything. I think this is actually a little bit better looking of a movie than Star Wars The Force Awakens was. Believe me, that's saying a lot. The whole movie looked very dirty and lived in, and I really appreciated that. The CGI and overall production design of the movie is on point, and that's to be expected because Disney throws hundreds of millions of dollars into the production of these films. The last act of this movie is really intense, it's really visceral, it's really entertaining, and I was on the edge of my seat. All the ship-to-ship battles and everything happening at once was so good, it was like pure Star Wars. The humor was actually kind of laid back. I kind of expected the movie to be funnier than it was, but it wasn't very funny, and I appreciated that a lot too. A little restraint is good sometimes. The soundtrack of the film was also pretty good, including Hope and Rogue One. Those are like the two main songs that I'd recommend listening to. And there were a few really emotional scenes in the movie involving Jyn Erso and her father Galen, which I felt were like really well handled. Now, Darth Vader was heavily teased to be in this movie, and if you're going into this movie just to see Darth Vader, you're gonna be disappointed because he's not in the movie for that much. But whenever he's on screen in this movie, especially the last scene that he's in, the very last scene, like 2 minutes before the credits, it's amazing. I was squealing with Star Wars fanboy delight. Now let's head over to the negative side. The whole first and second acts were kind of messy and all over the place. I hate to admit it, but I was kind of checking my watch a lot, kind of waiting for the movie to start, and that's never a good thing in a Star Wars movie. There were so many characters in the movie and so many places that they were always going all the time that I kind of found it a little hard to keep up with. Until the third act, which I already said was amazing, the movie is just kind of all over the place and it doesn't really seem to have a focus. And I'm not sure that's because of the reshoots that were involved with the making of this movie or something else, but the whole story of the movie could have been handled a bit better, I think. Apart from Jyn Erso and her father Galen Erso, you really don't know anything else about any of the other characters that you're supposed to care about in the more intense scenes in the movie. I mean, there's Cassian Andor, and I guess he was fighting in the rebellion for a long time. And then there's Saw Gerrera, and he is a guy, and he's in the movie. And then there's Donnie Yen's character, and all these other people, and I don't know anything about them. And because of the fact that these characters are given no background, you don't care when things get more intense. Nearly all the new characters in this movie just felt disposable, and that was really unfortunate. And don't try to tell me that this was just one movie and there wasn't enough time to develop good characters. The Force Awakens developed fantastic characters in one movie last year. I really cared about them. And in my mind, there's simply no reason as to why they couldn't do it again. Now, there are two fully CGI characters in this movie, and if you don't know who they are, I'm not going to spoil them for you. They kind of took me out of the movie. They kind of just look CGI, and I don't know. When you spend a lot of time around people in the real world, you can easily tell when something's not right when they try to fake it. And I guess that's all I can say without spoiling things. Here's the thing with Rogue One. My expectations were near the ground. I had little to no excitement walking into this movie. And yet, the movie perfectly met my expectations, and that's not good. I don't want an average Star Wars movie. I want a great Star Wars movie that makes me excited to be a Star Wars fan. I kind of left the movie theater last night and I just carried on with my day. It didn't stick with me, and I think that's the biggest problem with Rogue One right there. In the end, I have absolutely nothing to gain by saying that I didn't like the movie. I mean, I wanted to love it. I just couldn't help seeing tiny little things in the movie that could have been improved significantly, and that kind of dragged the movie down from being an amazing experience to just an average, forgettable movie for me. I'm gonna give Rogue One, a Star Wars story, a 6.5 out of 10. It's a fun movie. There's a lot of good action in it, like I said. The last act is cool, but I didn't really feel an emotional attachment to any of the characters, and when that's the case, it's really hard to love a movie. But anyways, that's my review for Star Wars Rogue One. I'll see you next year when Episode 8 comes out. Pressure's on you now, Rian Johnson. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.